Hello and welcome to Nova's Only Trash Show podcast, episode 55. Today is the 2nd of June 2014. So we started off, talking before the podcast, and something that I've been meaning to bring up accidentally slipped out. I was just waiting for a week where not much was going on, because it's been, it's happened for a while now, but it slipped out, and I'm very sorry.
This could be this could be anything right now. You could be like a murderer or something.
No, it's worse.
It's worse, is it?
It's somehow worse.
Oh.
I sold my soul, and in exchange I got myself an Xbox One.
Oh,
hey, getting new consoles.
Next gen.
Yeah.
Current gen now. Yay.
Keeping up with the current times.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I got it, right, is that, first of all, me now owning it doesn't mean that I'm now going to be like, oh yeah, Microsoft, they're a bunch of good guys. They're still scumbags, clearly. And, but the reason I got it is because I always wanted a PS4 and Xbox One. I wanted a PS4 over an Xbox One, but it's money. It's a money issue. When it comes to me, I don't have so much money that I can just, like, a 50 quid difference is quite... So, the Xbox One on Amazon crashed in price, so you could get an Xbox One with Titanfall for £350, which is the same as a PS4 by itself. So you would have to spend like $385 for a PS4 and a game as a bundle. So this was 35 quid cheaper, and a mate of mine has an Xbox One, and I had played Titanfall on his console, and I really like Titanfall. It is fun. I did complain about the lack of content, and that is an issue, but if I was getting the game free with the console, the core gameplay is fun, so I want a next-gen console. I don't think the prices are going to crash anymore until next year, so I caved, bought one from Amazon, and now I'm an Xbox One guy.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. not that I'm more surprised on how you sound.
Why? As in, what do you mean?
You sound almost sort of disgusted with yourself.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a good console. It's not good.
Right, okay.
That's it. It's like, well, eventually I want to get a PS4 as well. With the last gen, I have a PS3, a 360, and a Wii. And now I have a Wii U, Xbox One, so I do want to get a PS4. So I think ultimately I would have always got an Xbox One. It's just would I got it now or later? I just decided to get it now. But it was kind of, I'll be honest, I was drunk on red wine.
Oh no.
It was the red wine. It always gets you sometimes.
Red wine is dangerous.
And I didn't and it was also funny because I had Amazon Prime at the time, so it arrived like the next day.
Oh,
so
you didn't even have any time, no cancel time.
No, I woke up to this email. Obviously you have that time in the morning where you're still kind of half awake, and that time, of course, I was hungover. So the first thing I do when I wake up, I shuffle around, and then I have my laptop next to me. So I always like to open it up, check my emails and all that, check that stuff. So I check my emails, and it says, "Good news! Your Titanfall Xbox One bundle is going to arrive today at this time." And I'm just like, oh yeah.
Oh.
Right. I'll go play that then later when that arrives.
And it did arrive, did it?
Yeah. I have got it. It wasn't complete regret though. It wasn't like when I was drunk it would be so crazy for me to do that. Oh, this is nuts. There was some, like I said, cheaper console, and it was that whole thing where it crashed in price. It didn't seem it was going to stick. But me being drunk was the push to be like, yeah, let's be spontaneous and just get one while it's cheap, because there's a chance in a month's time it won't be that cheap, or won't be for a while. So now I have the console. Played it for myself. I have 3 games. I've got the Titanfall, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. And I have to say, they're all disappointing in their own unique way. Very pleased with that. Titanfall is the best game. It's really fun. I love that game. I really love playing the online mode. It's just a shame about the lack of content. And I'm not paying another 20 quid for the season pass because all those maps should be included. It's ridiculous. But again, really fun. Call of Duty Ghost, it's still piss poor on next generation consoles. The draw distance is a lot better. Everything looks a lot nicer, but the multiplayer is still awful and not fun. And they messed it up, and it just doesn't feel right. And it has ground war. That's one of the reasons I got it, because I was like, hey, I want to play ground war because it's my favourite mode back in Modern Warfare 3 and 2 and all of them, and it sucks in Ghosts. The maps are way too big. They're all designed like an arena. It doesn't work. The third game, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, feels like a PS3 360 game. The graphics aren't that good. The draw distance is embarrassing, and the stealth mechanics aren't good. It's weird because the whole game takes place on one island, and you would think, and then you can also track guards by looking at them, and you track them so you can keep track of all the guards. You would think what they would do is have a set number of guards on the whole island, because the island's not that big. Nope, infinitely spawning guards if you're spotted, and you can't fight your way out of it, you just have to hide. And it's bloody annoying, and it's not that fun, and the story is really, really ridiculous. Something really dumb happened. And the best part about that game is the trailer for The Phantom Pain, which should be good. So that wasn't good. And then that's like all the games on the whole console that I want. And all three of them I could have got on my 360. They just wouldn't have looked quite as nice, but it wouldn't have mattered. The Kinect I only plugged in once. That's been just sitting there because I unplugged it straight away because it's creepy and pointless and a waste of time, and the voice recognition works half the time and doesn't work the other half. The controller's nice, but whatever. Let me think, what else? And then the dashboard is still ugly. The game marketplace is embarrassingly bare. And the party snap stuff is annoying. So that's the Xbox One. It's a treat.
10 out of 10 would buy
That's
again.
right, it really is the next generation of an all-in-one entertainment system in your living room.
That was a horrible story. You sounded so sad.
I'm very sorry, but it's over time there's going to be games for the thing, so that's going to be cool.
So it's just an investment.
Yeah,
really.
it's just like jumping in early. Like, I was like, okay, I like games enough where I'm going to jump in early with this. Which is how everyone who buys a console day one actually is. That's what I was like with the Wii U. I didn't think New Super Mario Bros. U looked awesome. I just thought, hey, I love Nintendo, so I'll buy it now and invest. And Xbox One had no launch games. You could argue it did, but I wouldn't say it does. And the PS4 had no launch games, so when you buy a console in the first year, it's the investment. And it wasn't a smart decision. I mean, Titanfall I've had fun with, and definitely don't regret having that game. But I could have got it on my 360. So, I had to buy Xbox Live Gold as well. So that cost a nice chunk of money. Why? Well, to play Titanfall online and Call of Duty Ghosts online. Good.
Did you not have it on your Xbox then?
No, I let it run out ages ago.
Oh, okay.
When I got sick of Microsoft, I'm like, right, I'm done. I'm out. I'm back in.
Does it say if you did? Would it cross over?
Yes, it does cross over.
Is it tied to your account?
Yeah, it's
okay, good.
because my 360 account is now on my Xbox One. You just type in your email address, log in, and then it transfers it over.
All right.
So it's all on my Xbox One, and it's one unified account.
See, I was going to ask you about how it's like we've always seen the Kinect in news stories and stuff, but I was going to ask you how it is, actually using it in a day-to-day basis. But you unplugged it.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of shows how you would use it on a day-to-day basis. You wouldn't.
Well, again, yeah, my mate that I lived with, who had an Xbox One, he used it on a day-to-day basis. So I saw him use it quite a lot, but it wasn't worth it. It's just all you do is talk at it because there's no games. We talked about it last week. There's no games for the Kinect, and I don't think there's any coming. So, as a gaming device, it's useless. And then I guess it's kind of nice to have a camera, but then the camera, I don't know what you would use that for, apart from taking pictures, but you can do that with literally any device. So it's just a mic that can pick up your stuff, but it doesn't work all the time. So a lot of the time it just messes up. So in the time that you say something and then have to wait and then you say it again, you could just pick up your controller and use it. So it's really good at scanning codes. So when I had to download Titanfall, I put the code up to the camera, it did it instantly. So that was awesome. Apart from that, that was it, really. That's the only positive thing I have to say about the Kinect. It's horrendously ugly. I remember thinking that when I went to the Xbox One event before it came out. Jesus, I'm awful. I'm really all in with Microsoft secretly. Because I went to an Xbox One launch event before it came out to play it early. And now I have the console and I put many hours into it and I have Xbox One. Oh, I'm awful. But no, so the Kinect, it's just ugly because it's like twice as big as the Kinect One. But the Kinect One was a nice looking bit of thing. I thought it was a nice looking kit. This is just a block, like just this ugly shape that's there. And I was thinking about eBaying it, but nobody's buying them. Like
No.
some guy put them up to auction. I think he got 20 quid. Like it ended on £20. But of course, you're paying like 50 quid extra to get a Kinect with your Xbox One. So to get 20 quid is embarrassing. And it's because they're pointless. They're completely pointless and they don't add anything to it.
So how long ago was this that you got it? How long ago?
Not long. Month,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
month.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just didn't bring it up. I was planning to, I swear. But it's just like other stuff will come up and then I would forget. And it's just been sitting there really for most of the time.
Alright, here's a legitimate... Oh, no. I know the answer to that question. I was going to say... Well, no, you'd make a loss, but... You know you want to own all three. You
That's
said
right.
that. Eventually. But would you ever consider... Like, how is it in terms of trading in? Like, would you rather, if you could, get the PS4 now first?
Why, as in... See, but again, like with a PS4, I don't think a PS4 is that much better because there's no games. I like good games. Xbox One doesn't have them. PS4 doesn't have them. So at the moment, I dislike Microsoft as a company, but when it comes down to it, I just want good games. So in terms of just good games, I don't think Sony's any better than Microsoft. I think they're both in the exact same position. So we'll have to see with E3 when they reveal the games. Like, after the games are going to be revealed, then I might make that decision, but it's very unlikely. Because I think there is probably some good stuff on the way for Xbox One, and I think there's some good stuff on the way for PS4. But I don't need... Like, I doubt there would be any games on the PS4 that would get revealed that I would be like, okay, I can sell my Xbox One, lose money on that, lose out on all the exclusives on the Xbox One just for the exclusives on the PS4. So that's kind of not worth it. So I'll probably just wait a year and then catch up on the exclusives. And that's if they come and are any good. But like I said, we have to wait another week for them to be revealed.
Because this is supposed to be the pre-3 podcast.
Pre-3 podcast, yes.
Pre-3.
Yes. So
if you can't tell, we are both slightly
we're
tired.
a little bit tired.
Pre-3.
That's right, it's a day late as well.
Yes.
Oh, this is such a chirpy start.
It's a mellow. We'll call it mellow.
The mellow pre-3 cast.
Yeah.
Let's just take it slow and have it nice. Have a nice time.
But not too slow, though.
Kind of slow.
Yeah, right, kind of slow. So, in terms of pre-3...
Yeah. Do you want to...
Pre-3...
Pre-3.
we've had announcements.
Yes. Well, I think this is still pre-free announcements.
Does it still count as pre-free?
Yeah, sadly,
Okay.
I don't think this is pre-free.
Oh, I just want to say pre-free.
But pre-free would be... Oh, I don't know. But yeah, this is not pre-free. We're now in pre-free.
But it's not post-pre-free
It's not
yet.
post-P3, no. But it is pre-pre, post-E3 at the moment.
Yes, absolutely.
it works. It makes sense, I swear.
Yeah.
Right, so we haven't got any news as such, but games are starting to be revealed. And I think by the time this podcast goes up, probably another one will be. Because E3 is famous for that week before, some companies will kind of jump the gun. You might not get the big gameplay reveal, but titles get revealed. So the first one is Homefront: The Revolution. And we watched the trailer. Seemed pretty good. The trailer is just like a cinematic though, but the thing I'm really curious about that trailer is that in-game? Like, it looked like it could be, but again, like with these next-gen consoles, it's really hard to gauge it. Like, I'm not too sure if that's a really good-looking in-game trailer, or if that's like a decent-looking CGI trailer. And it's not clear, and they don't say, and it's clearly not gameplay, but I think that's real-time.
Having watched it like, what, about 15 minutes ago, my impression of it, my immediate impression of it was meh.
Yeah.
But only because we're seeing a gameplay that's going to be at E3, is what's said at the end. So fair enough, they just want to get the word out there. But there's nothing about that type of game that is any different to anything else. It's the dystopian future where you're ruled by. It's like Half-Life 2 or even
Last of Us.
What was the big one? Last of Us. Yeah, that was it. Last of Us. It's just that. So unless you get to shoot Kim Jong-un or something pretty cool like that, then I don't know. I was just like, yeah, okay.
Well, that's what people thought coming up to The Last of Us, though. Like, I got the impression that most people weren't really excited about The Last of Us. You know, obviously some people kind of interested, but I didn't really know about the game until it came out and got those good reviews, because that's what it looked like. It just looked like, oh, zombies in the future and things have gone wrong. Oh. But then when you look at the reviews and actually play it, you realise it is something different. Now, that's Naughty Dog. This, which I know you don't like the Uncharted games, but most people do. So instead of Naughty Dog, like the biggest studio in the world and like one of the critically acclaimed studios out there, still going to this day, we got Crytek UK, who, in case people don't know, used to be Free Radical, and then they went under because of LucasArts, and then they got brought out by Crytek, and I believe since being brought out and turned into Crytek UK, they worked on the multiplayer for Crysis 2, made Crysis 3, and now THQ originally owned Homefront. Crytek bought the rights, gave the rights to Crytek UK, and now they're coming out with Homefront: The Revolution, which is just such an odd decision. Like, I played Homefront 1. There's no, like, recognition with that brand. There's no, like...
Yeah.
It's not, like, such a quality brand that needed continuing. Like, there's no quality at all. Like, Destroy All Humans was another one of the THQ franchises that got sold, and it got sold in a bulk deal to Nordic Games. So, speaking of pre-free, we'll probably see some of those franchises get revealed, like maybe a new Darksiders, because Nordic Games have said we're working on bringing back some of these franchises. But yeah, at least with Destroy All Humans, the first two were good. It went bad, but the fact that it started good and had some good titles in that series means that giving it to a different developer and putting a bit of money behind it means that that could be good. But with Homefront, it was one game and it wasn't good, and it didn't do that well. So it's like, well, why would you... Well, there's no value to that brand at all. So that's what makes it seem really odd. I mean, it might still be a good game in its own right, because really this is a completely different studio making it, just taking the same concept of the Koreans taking over America and just making a next generation title. But I think if this game's ever going to do well, it's going to be like everyone has to separate this from the original. Like, this game should have probably just be called the Revolution.
That's what I was thinking. Why do they need to attach it? Because if anything, that's going to put people off, I would say.
I think so.
People be like, oh, half? You don't think so?
I agree.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, that first one wasn't very good. It does seem kind of
Yeah,
odd.
it's damaging, if anything. Like, there's not that much positive behind it, because fans of the original, the very few people that are fans of the original, won't really... They might have some interest, but it's being made by a completely different studio, and that means it's going to be a completely different game, and it's been a few years. So I think fans are going to be like, oh, well, this is different, and okay, it's not really what I liked about Homefront 1, or there's a very good chance you're alienating your fans. And then everyone else who didn't like it is going to be like, oh, it's a sequel to that game? Why would you, But then Crytek, for some reason, brought the rights, and are now forcing themselves to use it, and it's just damaging. I can't see anyone like this being a positive at all.
No. Maybe they just really like the Koreans ruling America concept, but yeah, like you say, if they just released it as a completely separate thing from Homefront, at least then I would have been like, oh, okay, so it's something new. Even if it's not new, it's not being dragged down by what it's related to. So,
well, then we then we have the problem that Crytek UK hasn't put out anything that great. Like, I didn't play Crysis 3. I'm guessing you didn't, but the reviews were mediocre. That came out at the same time as Dead Space 3, and both those games were sequels to games that people quite liked, and they both got mediocre reviews, didn't sell that well because Bioshock came out and Tomb Raider and games like that, and then kind of got forgotten. So that kind of killed both of those franchises, so that's not a good sign. Like, Crytek UK got given a franchise, a lot like Homefront. They got given the franchise, they'd make a new one, and it was mediocre and not good. So that's not a good track record.
They need this to be good.
They do, or I think they're
they're
being shut down if it doesn't sell.
Oh, and then we'll never see Time Splitters 4?
No. Still
Ever.
Time Splitters Rewind. Hello.
Yeah, I've still checked with that. Nothing.
It's slightly on the way.
It's like maybe 1% more. From very brief tangent. From the sounds of it, the people developing it are those types of people who will just remain quiet for so long and then pop their heads back up and say, "Oh yeah, we're still working on it," and then just go straight back down. So they're not very consistent with their updates, which is a bit annoying. But oh well.
Well, you don't have to update people that much. I mean, most big games don't get like an update that much. Just from time to time, they'll put out a preview build for people and a few screenshots. But that project's just weird because Crytek half backed it. They seem to half be like, let's make a new Time Splitters, but yeah, we're not really the interest, but we still want to do it, but we don't actually want to do it, if we're being honest, but we'll still do it anyway. So now we just have this half-assed kind of project where I'm sure the people working on it are working really hard and are trying to get this project done, are really passionate about Time Splitters, but like Crytek aren't. So I think Time Splitters Rewind might be good if it ever does come out, but that's if it ever comes out, because the company behind it doesn't really care.
Yeah, I don't think they want to put any money towards it, so they're just like, okay, you can do it, we'll watch from afar and just make sure you don't do anything damaging to the franchise that we own.
That's right, we're too busy throwing our money buying the Homefront franchise. We played some of it and thought, we need this.
It's too valuable not to make a sequel.
God damn it, it'd be a crime.
Yeah.
But I mean, to speak of the original Homefront though, that was not completely awful. It was there's two things that sunk that game. The first is that it was just, oh, Call of Duty and Battlefield's doing well, let's do one of them. It was just that was the only proper kind of clone, AAA clone You know, like people complain about there's so many military shooters, but outside of Call of Duty and Battlefield, I think the only one that got any sort of traction and heat was Homefront, as terms of being the rip-off and just stealing Call of Duty's game. So there was that. It was just another generic military shooter. And the second thing is that it just clearly wasn't finished. It was buggy, it didn't look good, didn't run well. They just needed a couple more months to work on that game to make it look good and run good and not have so many glitches. So maybe if Crytek are putting the money behind the Revolution, you know, they can fix the, you know, the bugs and make it actually look like a polished, well-made game. And then, of course, if Crytek actually takes some risks, then that can make it an interesting game and make it stand out on next-gen consoles. So it's possible that this game is good and fixes the original problems, but as I mentioned before, we just look at Crysis 3 and think, probably won't happen.
Yeah. I don't care, to be honest. No. Not about something like that. It's just... No. Until... Maybe there's like a really cool mechanic they've added for the shooting and we just haven't seen it in the gameplay yet. But I doubt it.
Probably not. I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Yeah, and it also does look like... it looks like The Division, which Ubisoft announced last year. Just people with backpacks, paper, there's just newspaper on the floor, military-looking guys. And God, people are excited about The Division. I don't know why. It looks so boring. Like, it just looks... Here's, like, some ruined buildings. Go in them and pick up some medicine and make some bullets. You're doing it with your friends.
Was that delayed again?
Yeah, no, that got delayed once.
Oh, once.
I think that's now 2015. But when it got announced at E3 last year, in the trailer they said, coming holiday 2014. So they gave themselves a year and a half when they announced it.
Yeah.
But I think it might have got delayed until 2015.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But it doesn't look interesting. At least Watch Dogs kind of has the hacking thing. Like, Chicago is a quite dull place, but at least it's got the hacking. Like, they were kind of going for something. But The Division is just like, it's nothing. It's just, you're a bunch of people in the future where things aren't great. Like, it really is just literally that. And they show gameplay as well. And it literally is just that generic thing you were talking about where the future's gone bad. And we've seen it so many times before. And The Division, from what I've seen, doesn't do anything new. Apart from a persistent open world. Which doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter, that kind of stuff. Unless they can make something really cool out of it. The fact that, some people online are doing stuff at the same time as me, but I'm not going to interact with them at all. That doesn't add anything. That's just like a technological advancement and something interesting in terms of the internet and, you know, the architecture of these new consoles, but it doesn't add to gameplay. It's just kind of there.
I want to make a game.
Ooh.
Another one of these ones, alright. I want to make a game that changes all of this. And I want to make a game where, instead of it being a future where it's really bad and there's a tyrannical rule by a government, I'm going to do the opposite.
Ooh.
Right? The future's great. It's world peace. Everyone is living a happy life. No wars, no famine or anything. That's great. Has that been done yet?
I think there might be like films and such where it's like, in the future there are no diseases, but at what cost? Our humanity, no! We need it back. Like that's been done.
Okay, so my game is, you got that, and we play as like the secret organisation that wants to take over and be evil.
Oh.
Put a spin on it, you know?
Yeah.
Spin it. Flip it and reverse it.
Reverse it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick of all this crap. I want something like that, where playing as bad guys is always fun. You've got to play as a bad guy. Screw revolutions.
Well,
actually, no, it will still be a revolution.
Well, the problem with playing as a bad guy is that people have done it, but it always has to be wacky. it can't just be like an interesting character who's doing something that's questionable. It has to be wacky. Like, I guess you could probably argue maybe some characters in the GTA games are you're playing as the bad guy, and that's the closest you kind of get to that, an interesting character who does questionable stuff. But usually it's wacky. Like, even like Trevor in GTA 5, he's just a joke. Like, he's just there for laughs, which is kind of a shame. But I can't think of one where it is kind of played seriously. Like, I'm looking at my shelf and I see Red Dead Redemption, but John is clearly a good guy.
Yeah.
Doing good things and trying to right his wrongs. Like, you don't play as John when he's part of the evil gang.
Well, you say that. But that's a different story.
Yeah. But no, so whenever you do play the bad guy, it's just a wacky thing, so I think you could do it, where you just have a more serious character who you make I guess The Last of Us tried to do it, where you make the decision.
Yeah, that was a big thing about Last of Us, is whether how evil Joel was. So I suppose that kind of did it, almost.
Yeah.
But screw all the morality and questions. I want to be you're just bad.
Be bad.
You're just bad. Yeah, no questions, you're bad.
Like Saints Row.
Like Saints Row, but less wacky.
Yeah, no meter.
Yeah, and no weird... Yeah, just none of that. None of that. No. Can I move on to what you just mentioned? It's only a very small thing.
Yeah, go on.
But Red Dead Redemption 2 is... Well, I can't remember the quote said likely. Something like that.
Yes.
But, it's a valuable franchise or something the guy said.
Yes, it's a
some
permanent
Sony guy.
franchise.
Permanent.
Permanent. Yes. Because the guy... These bloody guys at 2K, I believe it is. Yeah, 2K.
Yeah.
Where these guys... They talk really weirdly about their franchises, because for the longest time... We already talked about it when it already happened, about Bully 2 and Red Dead 3. And... The guy already said, like, oh yeah, these are franchises we're looking to continue and we plan to continue. And now we have almost the exact same quote, but 1 week before E3. So that's kind of really interesting. And now it's a case of with Rockstar is that they only make like one game a year when it comes down to it. I mean, L.A. Noire was made by Turtle Rock Studios, but that's their schedule. So... At E3, we're not going to get more than one game from them being announced. We're going to get one game, and I pray to God that it's Red Dead 3. I really hope it is, because I would love a next generation Red Dead.
That would make your purchase of the Xbox just, it's there. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I know they're coming, these next gen games, and I can go buy one and play it. And Red Dead would be my most requested.
Yeah, I think that, just say if it was only released on current gen.
As you mean PS3, 360, or Xbox?
I mean Xbox One.
Oh,
Xbox
you're being
One and PS4,
technically correct.
Technically correct. So if it was only released on those, that would probably make me buy
Ooh.
that game.
So this holiday season, Red Dead 3, and you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. Red Dead 3 all the way. 3, wait. Are we counting Undead Nightmare?
No, Red Dead Revolver.
Oh, yeah, you're
Redemption
right.
is technically a sequel.
Yeah. Spiritual.
Yeah,
successor.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was in the news briefly, was that?
What?
He's bringing it up before E3, so that's promising.
Well, yeah, that would definitely be my most wanted one. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff at E3, but that's the one. And when they announce Bully 2, I'm going to be gutted.
Oh, don't... Well... My one it would be Red Dead 3. Mm-hmm. But... And this wouldn't be an announcement, but I'd like to see more of Battlefront 3.
Sure.
Do you think that's plausible?
I think... EA, over this last year brought the Star Wars franchise, as you know, and they have to show something. This is the first E3. They've had some time. Something's being shown. Now, the problem with Battlefront being shown, like, there's one reason that makes it plausible that, or very likely it'll be shown, and one reason that makes it very unlikely it'll be shown. The reason why it's likely is because Battlefront is the only one that got shown last year. Nothing got revealed about these Star Wars games, but last year there was actually a brief teaser trailer featuring some sort of in-game shots on Hoth, or in the engine, not a gameplay or anything like that. So it's been a year since that got shown, which makes it, possible for them to have been working on something for a year to at least show. Maybe it doesn't come out this year. It'll probably come out closer to when Episode 7 actually comes out, but, possible. Something that makes it very unlikely that it's going to be shown is that Battlefield 4 was a complete train wreck, and DICE are the people who made that game, and they're the ones in charge of Battlefront. So they've been massively delayed. There was 2-3 months that they had to just focus on Battlefield, which they're a big enough studio where they can multitask, but they still, next generation gaming and making games requires a lot of resources. So that means that if they had to divert resources into Battlefield and all the different versions, that's quite a big chunk. And the second reason why it's unlikely is because Mirror's Edge 2, they're also meant to be working on that. So I would think that doesn't really matter, because Battlefront is going to take priority over Mirror's Edge 2.
Yeah, screw that.
Some people care, but if they have to pick one, EA is going to be like, yeah, make the new Star Wars game. Who's that Asian woman? Oh, we don't care. We want some Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff like that. So I think I would say it's likely, but I wouldn't put money on it, because there's other stuff working on, like Visceral Games, the people behind Dead Space, are making their own one. I can't remember all the names of all the studios making ones, but I think there's 3 or 4 different studios. So their games are probably going to get revealed, or a couple of them, and I don't think all of them will do. So likely, but I'm not 100% about Battlefront.
No. Well, I suppose that's good odds.
Yes.
For Star Wars in general.
Well, yeah, there'll definitely be something Star Wars. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be amazed if there wasn't. It wouldn't make any sense to me if there wasn't any at all.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it will be good that it should be more focused on games now, shouldn't it? So should see more stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it kind of was last year. It's just the games they had to show. They mentioned a load of stuff that we got no new information about throughout this whole year. Microsoft just came out with a load of, names. Just here's all this cool stuff on the way. And then all we got was Dead Rising 3, Rise. Hardly any of that. That was a really solid conference from Microsoft after the massive kerfuffle and outrage over their awful revealing of the Xbox One, just because it was not good. And then they came back strong at E3, but most of those games we have just nothing really. We had that awful Halo trailer that only in the last 2 weeks we got a name for that game. By the way, remember that trailer that we showed a year ago? Yeah, it's Halo 5. Get excited. And then the only game that me and you were really interested in when we talked about it was Below.
That was the arty one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the above top one, indie, pixely kind of cool exploration one. And in the last month we did get some more stuff about that, but that was in the last month. And then there was just a lot of games. And then Black Tusk, they were they're making a game, and then people were we don't know who that is. I'm assuming that's good. I mean, I'm glad they're working on a game. Most game companies are, so cool.
A game.
Yes, and the only update we got on that is that I think that game's probably been scrapped, because now they're the official team behind Gears of War, which won't be revealed at this E3, by the way, because they haven't had enough time. And then we also got D4, which is that weird Kinect game made by Swery, the same guy who did Deadly Premonition. And then there was Sunset Overdrive, that again, in the last month we got information on that game and proper gameplay stuff. And I'll be honest, have you seen the gameplay stuff for Sunset Overdrive?
No.
actually looks alright.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
good then.
I mean, we took the piss out of it quite a lot, but that's just because I hate that kind of art style. But Insomniac, they're a great studio. Looked at the gameplay, I was like, that looks like a lot of fun.
Should have had faith, I guess.
Well, you know.
We don't know yet.
When it's, you know, like Insomniac, basically at that E3, the announcement is that Insomniac are making a Xbox One exclusive, and at the time it's like, no, guys, come on, you made Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, you're talented, you don't need to do this. But now that the actual game is closer, I probably will pick that up. I can't remember when it's coming out, but yeah, it does look fun.
What was the gameplay like then?
It's kind of like a open worldy. You like, I can't. You're not. I don't. It's like quick. Like the whole city, there's a bunch of rails that you spend a lot of time grinding on to get around quickly. And you're just kind of shooting out all these like weird mutants, but then it's kind of got the same like sense of humor and kind of cartoony style as Ratchet and Clank. A bit more cross with Jet Set Radio, but it's still kind of got that clear, you know, trying to go for the sense of humor that you would expect.
Yeah.
Which isn't, when I saw the gameplay, it's not like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I expected. But then when I actually saw it, it was like, yeah, that does look fun.
What's not to like?
Yeah.
Skateboarding and shooting.
Yeah.
No, not skateboarding. Roller skating.
You do love your skateboarding.
That I do.
When it comes to cartoony skateboarding games, you can't get enough.
I'm just too good at them.
That's right.
It's a challenge. Bring it on, Insomniac.
That's right. I mean,
I'm not gonna play
it's not skateboards, so.
No, yes, not yes. Roller skating games I suck at.
What, did you play Jet Set Radio? Well,
No.
then how do you know?
I watched it though.
That's
a really weird game.
yeah.
Really weird. I have no idea what's going on. Funky music though.
Yeah. Well, that was the Dreamcast. They loved their funky music.
But no. Right. I'll have to do a roller skating sort of thing. How many other roller skating games are there?
There's Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio
Okay.
2, there was a sequel. It wasn't called 2, but it was on the original Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that other game.
What if I count like NFL?
No, that's I wish.
It's still skating.
Yeah.
It's just not roller.
No. I
Okay.
think there's gotta be some other characters that roller skate. For goodness sake.
There's none.
No, there's not.
That's a gap in the market right there. Oh no, it's just been taken up. Damn.
Damn, those brilliant.
See, Insomniac.
They're brilliant.
They know what they're
They're
doing.
like, right, everyone's doing the future stuff. We'll do the future stuff, but roller skates and colourful. Boom, ship it.
At least it's different. You got to give it to
We'll
them.
blow Connect Sports Rivals out of the water with the Xbox One exclusives. Zoo Tycoon
That could be-
won't know what it hit it.
They can be like cool motion controls as well.
Oh, no, there's none of that.
Like fake roller skating and that kind of stuff.
Oh, that is so bad.
And then shoot and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
No,
Don't make me in charge
I'll
of games.
try not to.
Don't. What? There are a few other games announced as well.
Yes. So we got. Well, let's get rid of two of them. Mortal Kombat X. We don't care, right?
What's the trailer? Lots of hitting and violence, and then obviously you got to end with the typical finish him, and it's very gruesome.
Done. Well,
Done.
I don't, yeah. Sorted.
That's it. That's Mortal Kombat.
Forza 2 Horizon. Forza Horizon 2. No one played the first one, so they're making a sequel. Boom. Done.
Yep. Move on.
Right.
Get it out of the
Okay,
way.
now we got two games where... Okay, let's start with Sonic Boom, right? Because today, at time of recording on the Monday, Game Explain, he's now like a massive YouTuber in terms of media and entertainment with Nintendo games, has released a load of gameplay footage of the game, and that looks really good. Like I said, remember how we were talking about it before, and it was like, oh, the people behind Jack and Daxter are working on this.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amy Hennig.
Amy's there. No, she's not. She's not there.
No, she's not.
But the main guy who formed the studio, Bob, whatever his name, was one of the like creators and main guys at Naughty Dog.
Oh,
and
right,
it's like
okay.
a very impressive list of people they have working for it. And you watch the gameplay, and it's like, yeah, Jack and Daxter.
Cool.
It has a very similar style, but it takes Sonic and mix it with Jack and Daxter, and that's it. That's the game right there.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
from the sounds
it
of
looks great.
Hmm.
It's funny because there's a brief section of Amy doing some platforming, and she has to spin on a pole. And you know in Jack and Daxter, the pole spinning?
Pole spinning?
Yeah, remember where you kind of got stuck on it in the mines because you didn't know when to jump to go forward?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that. And Amy jumped on one of those poles, and it looks exactly the same. She moves exactly the same as you do in Jack and Daxter. And I was like, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. I haven't played a game like Jack and Daxter 1 in years, so this one's looking really good. And, you know, if the genre was still alive, I wouldn't be that excited for this game. But it's not. It's dead, and it's coming back with a boom. Sonic Boom.
Oh, you know it very good.
Thank you very much. But no, so that game, as long as the review should be good, or better than Lost World, I'll wait and see. But at the moment, Sonic Boom is a buy from me. I'm definitely going to pick up that game, because it's Jack and Daxter and Sonic. But it's good Sonic, and it's actually good Jack and Daxter, so what's not to love?
Am I right in thinking Sonic Boom was the one that everyone made fun of the characters?
That's the one.
When they first... Okay, good. What was so weird about them again? Gloves? Was it
No,
gloves?
they took the...
Scarf?
Yeah, there was a little bit of the scarf stuff, but it was mostly because how bulky Knuckles became.
Oh, okay. Right.
I just had a ridiculous chest, and people were like, oh, he's been working out, or whatever, I don't know. Not.
Right, okay. Just wondered.
But
no, that does sound good.
yeah.
Even in my lack of interest / knowledge of Sonic, that does sound good.
Well, I would say check out the gameplay thing. Again, it's like 6 minutes long, but after the podcast, check it out. And you might see something you like, but then you would have to buy a Wii U, so that's not going to happen. But there is a 3DS version, so boom.
Boom.
Done.
Boom, boom. There you
Sonic
go.
Boom Boom.
Yeah, that's good then.
Right, then I'll briefly bring up Mighty Number 9, because we got the gameplay reveal of that. It is exactly like Mega Man, so...
This is the Kickstarter thing, right?
Yes, the big Kickstarter thing, and...
You backed this, right?
Yeah, I backed it, and I didn't realise the guy just didn't care about making anything interesting. He just literally wanted to make Mega Man, and that's exactly what he made. So good for him, but this is what everyone wanted. So good, and it doesn't look bad. It just seems weird. Like, you really get this idea. There's this big idea with like people and the gaming community. They have this image that the company is like, just make more of this. Oh, you won't get your money. And the creative people are like, oh, we just want to let our creative juices flow and do whatever we want to make wonderful art. And the company with the money is like, no, you've got to do this. And now this guy is left. He can make something like Mega Man, but he has all the creative freedom in the world, and he's just ripping off what he made. Like, he has all the creative freedom. He was literally given the money by people. So he can just make whatever he wanted. Obviously, he had to make something in line with what people backed, but still, he could have made something interesting. He could have mixed up to some degree, but it's just Mega Man. And it's like, what was the point? Like, I know people are upset that there's no more Mega Man and Capcom has stopped supporting the franchise, but there was 10 main series Mega Man games, and then there was the X series and the Zero series and the Battle Network series and the ZX series. So it's like, well, if they're going to make another one, do something different. There's enough games. If there was like 2 Mega Man games, then this would be perfectly acceptable. I would have no problem with it. But there was tons. So how can anyone kind of be happy with, oh yeah, the 11th one's on the way? Terrific. I'm glad he got away from that evil company who, you know, most people with Call of Duty say that they're just, the Activision with the money is just making them put out the same crap year after year. And now this guy comes away and he's just putting out the exact same thing with no originality. So, and he hasn't made a good game in years. That studio Concept is what they're called. They haven't made a good game, I don't think. I think every game they've put out so far, which hasn't been many, but I think there's been at least 2, and they've both been flawed. Like, they made the new Ninja Gaiden that didn't do well, so I just don't really have that much faith in it. Like, I've paid for it now, but yeah, like I said, I don't have any faith in this project, really.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like, it'll be nice, because I gave the money to them so long ago, that this to me will be like a free game. Like, oh, free game that I can download, cool. But
Yeah.
it still doesn't interest me anymore. It's just, oh, okay, it's on the way, cool. Right. Because I feel like Mighty Number 9 should be something like Shovel Knight, which I also backed and should come out soon. Shovel Knight is obviously very heavily inspired by Mega Man and those old NES games, but it's its own original concept and mixes things up. That feels like what Mighty Number 9 should be, from a creative standpoint at least. Maybe not the concept should be the same, but creatively it's like, okay, they can still have a lot of the same building blocks and the same ideas, but add in some new stuff as well. But no, Mighty Number 9 is not that at all. Shovel Knight looks great, can't wait for that, but Mighty Number 9 is just Mega Man.
Do you think that's the general consensus?
No, I think everyone's happy that there's more Mega Man.
Do you think they're shrouded by nostalgia?
I think so.
To see this? Yeah.
Well, I think there's a good chance that once people actually play it, they would have that instantly like, oh, it's so good to play new Mega Man again. And if the ideas aren't there, you know, he's still got time to make this game and make it interesting. If it does feel exactly like Mega Man, I think people will play it, be like, yeah, more Mega Man, cool, and just forget about it. Like, this won't stand the test of time, it won't be memorable, so he's got to put stuff in there that separates it from Mega Man, or nobody's going to care. They're going to beat it once and be like, right, yep, that's it. Because Mega Man 1 and 2 and 3 and those games are classics. They've held up over time. But if you just try and make another one, that's not going to hold up over time. It's just going to, like, people are just not going to care. It's just going to be like, this was a cool experiment thing that I took part of. I'm never going to play that game again. And I think that's the most likely situation. But again, he might put some cool stuff in there, separate it. It could still be a classic. I just don't see it.
You hear that, guy who made this game? You've been warned.
Yeah, it's not getting away with this anymore.
You have time.
I'm putting my foot down.
Do not waste it.
Yeah, don't waste it porting it to the PS4, PS3, 360, Xbox One, Wii U, PC, Mac, 3DS, PS Vita, and I think Linux.
Why don't you just stop listening to this podcast, guy, and go change it right now?
Yeah.
Because I know he's listening.
Yeah, that's easy, guy. Come on.
Yeah, just do it now.
It's 2 seconds.
Continually offering advice on this podcast. For free.
Yeah, don't even charge. It's crazy.
They're too nice.
Well, thank you.
I'm too nice. No. Was that what it was for announcements then? More or
Yeah.
less?
Yeah, that was pretty much all announcement stuff. So, I guess... Oh. Well, that's all the announcements. But of course, this week, Mario Kart 8 came out. And it's looking very good for the old Mario Kart. Because
I have... oh, go on.
yeah, well, I was just going to mention that it's looking good for them because the figure came out, and over the weekend it came out, 1.2 million copies were sold over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, very good start for the Mario Kart.
I think on the day of its release, or maybe a day after when people actually got their copy from Amazon or something, I was watching quite a few live streams, or one live stream of it that went on for ages with this guy playing it, and yeah, I mean, I thought I'm not going to watch a bloody live stream of a racing game for very long. I ended up watching it for at least a couple of hours, but Partly because the guy is funny, but also because the game definitely, I don't know, it was just entertaining to watch. So it does look fun.
Yeah, that's the odd thing about Mario Kart 8, and I'm not saying anything new by saying this. Everyone's saying this, and I've heard it a few times, is that Mario Kart 8 is the best looking next generation game so far. Like, just due to its visual style, its lighting, obviously a lot of money and time went into it. Nintendo know what they're doing when it comes to making games like this. So everyone is saying it's the best looking game. Because you got Watch Dogs, which is technically much better, but the art style is just, it's kind of like real life and a guy's in a hat. Sick. And then you got kind of, even Titanfall is like, there's Titans, which look cool. But like every next generation game, because they're going for this like realism, none of it looks good. Unless it looks almost perfect to real life, realism now is not going to impress. You're never going to be like, oh, that looks kind of good. Unless it's, you want something that visually is kind of, you want it...
Stimulating.
Yeah, stimulating. You want it to be bold. You want it to stand out. So when Nintendo comes along with Mario Kart 8, pushes the Wii U to its full power, nails the visual style, and has a lot going on with all the different colours, like, I just want to see vibrant, nice colours. There really is something about vibrant colours. It's why I think Tangled, the film, we talked about it before, that looks better than Frozen to me. Like, it's kind of like the same thing, where Tangled, there's not as much technology in there, but the colours are so vibrant and nice to look at that I visually enjoyed that film more than Frozen. Because in Frozen, they spent so much money on that snow technology, but because it doesn't look perfectly like snow, it just looks really close, it's like not impressive, or it's not visually like, oh wow, look at that snow. It's just snow on a screen. So it's kind of the same situation here where Mario Kart is Tangled, where it stands out, and the next generation games like Watch Dogs and whatever is Frozen, where technically better, but visually blander.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, Watch Dogs should have been in the style of Mario Kart.
Absolutely, that's what I'm going for.
That's it. Yeah, I want an open world kind of cartoony game.
Sunset Overdrive, hello!
There, we just spoke about it. There you go, yeah. Good.
Well, no, I don't think Watch Dogs should be a cartoony game. It just should have a unique visual style.
It should be Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, well. God, that could be this year.
No.
Yeah, come on. Simpsons Next Gen.
Don't even put my hopes
Simpsons
up.
Game 2.
They do need the Simpsons game.
Before Matt Groening dies.
He's not that old.
He's getting there.
He has so much money, he can live beyond death.
I think so.
Yeah. But no, what was I going to say about Mario Kart? Oh yeah, just I think the reason why I found I enjoyed it so much watching it is because if I was playing it, I think I'd get really annoyed because the whole point is that it changes so quickly, and you can be from first to last, and then you can go back to third or whatever. That would probably frustrate me a little bit. But because I'm not playing, I can just watch people play it and get annoyed. and so you never know if you're going to be in first for very long. That makes it entertaining, especially when I'm not in the control.
So, like watching sport. Or
yes,
actually,
exactly.
If you were into racing, like F1.
If F1 had actual, shells and bombs and stuff, I would watch that. But it doesn't.
Missing a trick.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's interesting you say that because my impressions of Mario Kart 8, because I've been playing it, obviously, because I got it day one, is that this game moves away from that whole anything can change quickly. Because Mario Kart Wii, there was 12 people in a race, and you could go from 12th to first in half a lap or so, quite easily. You could go from the very back to the very first if you got lucky with the items, if people, were just, you didn't even have to set it up. If you drove well, you could do it. Mario Kart 8, it's impossible to do that. Completely impossible. I know some people probably argue against, but it really is. Because a big item that would do that is the bullet bill, which is where you turn into a massive bullet and just the game controls it for you. And you are invincible, and if you hit anyone, they, spin out, and you go a lot quicker than normal. In Mario Kart Wii, that could take you from 12th to 5th or that would take you a good number of places. In Mario Kart 8, it takes you like 2, maybe 3 or 4 if you're lucky. Then so mostly what will happen is that you're in 11th, then you get the bullet bill, and it might put you up to like 8th. So there's no chance that you're going to. If you're going into the final lap in last, it's impossible to come in first because everyone is more spaced out and the items don't shoot you through the ranks as quickly. So honestly, I found that you might change from like 3 positions a lot. Like you might go from like first to second to third a lot, but you'll never go from like first to then like 8th and then back up to like 5th and then you go back down again. Like that doesn't happen anymore. And it's really quite interesting, and I think it does come from everyone being separated. Because in Mario Kart 7, it was 8 people, but it still had that similar kind of thing as Mario Kart Wii. You didn't change positions as much. It wasn't as frantic, but it was still that sort of style. And now Mario Kart 8 has gone back to having 12 people as opposed to 8, and has taken even a bigger step away from it. Where in Mario Kart Wii, you would have a pack, and that pack would take up like a quarter of the course, say. But in Mario Kart 8, it's quite easy to kind of lap people because you like by the end of the race, you're taking up at least half the course. Like half the course, the whole races will take up. And I found that's like really quite interesting way to do it. Like you still kind of you still get the frustration of I was in first, someone hits me with a red shell, now I'm in third. That's annoying, but it's not. So there's still kind of the manic with the smaller groups rather than the one big group. And I like that. If it survives over time, or if I still like it over time, is still to be seen. But that was the big thing that really stuck out to me, that they changed the pacing of it, where it's still kind of the items, you take over people, is still kind of quick and fast and enjoyable, but you now have these smaller fights with people fighting out for certain positions, rather than everyone against everyone, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't really remember that much from it, but I do remember liking the music as well.
Yeah, the music's great. There's 2 tracks that really stood out to me. That's Swamp Ruins, which has this really kind of catchy, enjoyable riff in it. And then Grumble Volcano, the music was surprisingly good for that. But I don't know, I don't want to go too much into Mario Kart 8 because there's so much I could like break down and talk about. But I think the main kind of point is that it's gorgeous to look at. It's really fun, and I really like what they did with the items and all the different tweaks they made. One tweak I'm really surprised they didn't make is that they're saying how this is the most balanced one, and they're trying to make it as balanced and fair as possible, and there seems to be a tighter focus on skill in this game over the last few ones. But green shells still bounce a stupid amount. I still get hit from behind from random green shells just bouncing all over the place, which seems like the most unfair thing because you can't tell. At least with a blue shell, you get like you get a warning, so you can try and do something, or you're at least prepared for it, or it's coming. Green shells, some people just fire them randomly, they miss, and then they bounce off, then they come back, and you just can't predict where they're going to go properly. So it seems weird that they said that they put thousands and thousands of hours doing the balancing, but nobody thought, sometimes you just get hit randomly with green shell. Should we just make it so they only bounce once? And they just kind of left it, which seems a bit odd. But the new weapons are cool. The new characters are alright. I don't really care about characters that much in Mario Kart because I just play Yoshi or as my Mii. So I just go for them, so I don't care about the different characters. Something that was odd with the retro courses, the GameCube ones and the Wii ones and the 3DS ones look amazing because it looks like the original course, but everything just looks so much nicer, and they just went over and redid everything so it all looks just awesome and crisp and amazing. The N64, Game Boy Advance and SNES ones are just completely different courses, which I kind of found a bit disappointing. Like Yoshi's Valley and Royal Raceway from the N64 ones. They did a great job with that, with the music, with the way they look. Really like those courses. But most of the other N64 ones and the SNES and Game Boy Advance ones, they're just not the same course. So there's just kind of this massive disconnect, because you go from a SNES course, which is like, what was it, 16-bit, and now you're going in full 720p HD. So it's just like, this is completely different. It's nice that there's like that connection there, but this is just like too different for me to kind of enjoy the novelty of playing on this older course again, which I got in Mario Kart 7, and in Mario Kart 7 it was awesome, but in this one I didn't kind of get that same feeling. But as I mentioned, when it comes to Mario Kart, it doesn't matter what happens when it first comes out and playing it. It's just, if I'm still playing this game in like 6 months to a year's time, then I know it's an amazing, really fun, awesome game, and then I'll be able to judge over the other Mario Karts. Because I was playing Mario Kart 7 for a good while, and Mario Kart Wii playing for a good while, and it's just how long it kind of holds up. So at the moment, first impressions, very good, really enjoying it, but I'm going to have to wait for like 6 months to know how this one ranks, because you just need to play it just over a prolonged period of time to really get that judgment down.
I wonder if it's got the pinball one in it.
What, Waluigi Pinball?
Yeah.
No, that was originally in the DS one,
I
and then they
like
brought
that
it back for Mario Kart 7.
Oh, okay.
So it's already been like brought back.
Oh.
Because so far they've never brought back a track twice. It's either like in the original one, and then it gets brought back for the retro ones.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, so Mario Kart 8 is just doing really well as well. As I said, 1.2 million copies sold. Everyone seems to be really liking it. And yeah, 1.2 million copies, that's kind of crazy. Because that's, in a weekend, that's a lot of copies to sell. And even if it was like a 360 game, that's still quite a lot of copies to sell as well. But Watch Dogs beat it. In the UK, Watch Dogs outsold it. The PS4 outsold, or the PS4 version and the Xbox One version outsold it separately by themselves. But I don't think that's kind of too surprising, seeming how there's more PS4s than Wii U's, and then there's not more Xbox Ones than Wii U's, but if you have an Xbox One, it's like there's no games on the thing, so I guess I'll buy Watch Dogs. Although really, you could say the same for the Wii U. There's no games on the thing, so I guess I'll buy Mario Kart 8. But apparently in the UK, the sales figures from the previous week for the consoles jumped up by 666%, and 80...
What?
Yeah.
666?
I know, it's not a good sign. Not a good omen. But 82% of the Wii U sales figures in that week were the bundle with Mario Kart 8. So that's like kind of ridiculous, because 82% was that bundle. So people are definitely going out and buying Wii U's for Mario Kart 8, you know, although I don't think anyone would argue with the point. Like beforehand, nobody was going to be like, oh yeah, Mario Kart 8, no one's going to buy a Wii U for that game. Like, people knew. It just seems to be, okay, over time, is this a big enough boost? So it's looking really good. We still don't know with America and Japan, and we have to wait a couple of weeks, but it is looking really good for the Wii U right now.
So that's one of two for the Wii U?
I think this is the big one. People like to imply or say that Smash Brothers is going to be big. It's not going to be that big.
So what was the other one? Was there another one?
What, big game for the Wii U? It was Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, so it was Smash Brothers. Oh, okay.
People say that that's the big one. I don't think it is. Because you can...
You said it was, though.
Okay, it's big for me. And in terms of Wii U games, when people talk about what's coming out and what's out big this year, Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros. But if we're talking in terms of console sellers, Smash Bros. Doesn't sell consoles, really. Like, everyone loved Melee, and that was the game they went for, but that was Nintendo fans buying that. So, I don't think Smash Bros. Will sell Wii U's, because Brawl did well, but it didn't compare to a lot of the other bigger franchises that Nintendo has, Like, all the Mario ones did better than Super Smash Brothers. And again, because you can get it on the 3DS, there's going to be a lot of people who are just going to buy the 3DS one, and that's going to be enough for them. And it's coming out in the summer, where the Wii U one's coming out in the winter, so that's kind of a big deal. So I don't think it's going to help sell that many systems. Or Mario Kart 8 is the system seller over Super Smash Bros. Smash Bros will sell a few, but it's Mario Kart 8. That's the biggest card they have, and that's the big one to be looking at right now.
Okay. Well, at least from that, then, it's good.
Yes. Right, well, I want to talk about one more thing in terms of pre-free stuff. And it'll be quick, and that's because The Legend of Zelda Wii U is going to get announced at E3. Now, there's many other different crazy predictions we could make, like the Simpsons game, or a new James Bond title being announced finally.
Oh, yeah.
But we're definitely going to get a surprise like that, though. Like, maybe not specifically one of those two, but that's the interesting thing about E3. There's always a surprise. So we can, talk about Red Dead 3, Star Wars Battlefront, and Zelda, but the more interesting part is what crazy odd stuff that you could never predict is going to get announced next week.
Hitman
2. That's confirmed.
I'm putting money on that.
Well,
not much
I
money.
heard the president of EA was like, Simpsons Hit and Run is a permanent franchise.
Even though it was 11 years ago now. It's fine.
It's coming back. Destroy All Humans was quite long, and they're probably making another one of those.
That's true.
Although I think Darksiders and Red Faction will be over Destroy All Humans, sadly.
Well, screw them.
Yeah.
Screw them.
But no, so I guess I don't really have that much to say about The Legend of Zelda on Wii U, apart from I'm really excited to see it. And I think this is going to be this Zelda game on the Wii U has to be big. Like Mario Kart 8, you say that, or I say that, and everyone else says that about every Wii U game. But The Legend of Zelda is massive, and you can make a new Mario Kart really good, and that keeps everyone happy. And you can make Super Mario 3D, well, then that keeps people happy. But The Legend of Zelda really is the perfect mix between the casual and the hardcore. Where, Mario Kart, everyone plays it, but then Zelda is a more kind of hardcore mainstream franchise that even people with PS4s and Xbox Ones might pay attention to. Like Mario Kart 8, they might play, but they would never really care about owning it. But The Legend of Zelda has been such a classic, awesome franchise that a lot of people, I think, look at The Legend of Zelda and kind of keep up with it. And it usually sells pretty well. Skyward Sword sold well, even though a lot of people hated it. So I think this one's going to be really important, and I can't wait, but we're going to have to wait and see. And I hope it's awesome, and it should be.
Can you not wait to see it, as in to literally see the visuals of it? Is that what you're excited for?
Yes. To get, hopefully, the subtitle of the game, to see what style they went for, to see, sadly enough, when it's set in the timeline, to see just the style of it. Because the style of the Zelda game is such a big deal. That's why these reveals are so interesting, because with The Legend of Zelda, a series that has gone from A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, then you've got Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. Just seeing the visuals of it is very interesting in itself. Whereas, of course, Homefront, The Revolution, the visuals of it is not interesting in itself. It's just, okay, well, let's see how it plays. But with Zelda, it's a big part, a very big part, so I'm going to that trailer, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay, I'm going to stick with Nintendo for a bit. Only very briefly, because I don't actually know too much about this. But it concerns what you do, what I do.
Oh.
Let's Play. I don't know how much you've read about this. Like I said, I'm not too sure. But Nintendo, you remember the backlash that they received last year for when they started copyright matching all the Let's Players videos of their games and taking all the profits, stuff like that. And then they realised that's probably not the best idea because everyone was really hating it. I don't know how long ago it was they announced this, but there's that sort of new in-between that they're going for where they're not going to take all your profits from the video, they can stay out, but you can be part of a Nintendo affiliate program
Yeah.
where they take a share of them or something. Have you heard
I've
about
heard
that?
about it, yeah. I think this is just something that won't really come to pass. Like, the whole Nintendo claiming profits kind of went away, and nothing really kind of happened with it, really, and I think they kind of stopped claiming it once they got the backlash. And now they're trying to come up with something, but I don't think anything will really happen. Like, this won't be a legitimate solution to this problem that is people uploading game footage and making money off it.
So either, well, by that do you mean, do you think it's going to give up?
I think it will just they'll give it a go, won't really work, and they'll just fade away, and then maybe they'll come back and try again. But I think this is just what's going to happen when it comes to YouTube and video game companies, where these companies will never figure it out, but they'll try from time to time. They'll give it a go and see what they can do, but they'll never figure it out. It'll just come up every now and again.
Well, that was my impression of it. Was that okay? I don't make Nintendo videos really, and I was never affected by that, and I don't make a living off of YouTube, so I can't really relate to it. But I think it's promising that they're at least attempting something. Like we mentioned before, how the internet is it's fast-paced, and companies are always having to play catch-up. No matter what they do, they always have to play catch-up with how people use the internet. At least, and you could tell that from Nintendo's first go at it, where they just got it completely wrong. So that's not going to work. People will not like that. So at least now they're thinking, okay, right, we failed at that, so it's got to work differently. Because I reckon at some point something like that's got to be in place. I think maybe not anytime soon, but I reckon maybe a few years' time or whatever. YouTube, especially YouTube, is going to have to sort of really knuckle down on their content ID and all that kind of crap, because it really is at this stage still so bad, really bad.
I don't. There might be, but whatever will happen will be bad. Like it.
Will it?
I think so. YouTube will just the way YouTube's always handled it is just with this broad stroke say all these videos you're now infringing on copyright. We've now decided, and then people have to kind of deal with that. So I think that's the sort of thing we would have to deal with. Like a company like Nintendo or any other one can try and make it okay, but the only way they can make everything okay is just leaving it alone and kind of letting it do its own thing. Because the reason why any money is made at all is because YouTube has figured that out. Obviously YouTube figure out the advertising, but YouTube has made the content, made the channels, and made it work. And it's something that I don't think a big company can understand in their own way. So the only way that a company can... They just can't understand it. They can't understand that kind of... Because it's a business model at this point, and that's how they kind of want to view it. But really, most of these is just a couple of guys making videos. They brought the equipment, so they kind of make some videos. But then, obviously, in terms of a profit-making sense, it doesn't make any sense to do anything like that. So these worlds are just trying to collide, where you have the complete polar opposites: guy playing Nintendo games at his house, and a international rich company trying to find some middle ground. So it just won't happen, and they'll try, and I can't see a solution that works and where everyone is kind of happy or can at least be willing to compromise with it.
Okay. I reckon that someone will have to compromise, though. And I just don't think it will be big companies. That's all.
Well, I don't think they will... Well, what would happen is that they wouldn't compromise, but if they try to mess with it and make YouTube do the stuff, then YouTube makes bad decisions, as they usually do, it'll just kill it. And Let's Playing... because everyone... I think Let's Playing could be here to stay if companies leave it alone. It's been around for long enough where it's clearly successful and people like it. But if companies mess with it, only thing that would happen is that it dies and people don't do it. Like, if you're just, most of these people start as just some guy recording and just putting stuff online and just trying to work with it like that. And if they then, you know, a few years ago, it's just, oh, I've now uploaded my video on YouTube, this is exciting, oh, some people watched it, that's cool. If instead new YouTubers was hit by, oh, you have to now apply to Nintendo's program for YouTubers, legally sign this, and now you have to have adverts at the start, beginning and middle of your videos, you have to put the Nintendo logo at the end of each of your videos. It's like, it's just not going to happen. And then instead we're just going to get all the soulless guys at the top, where they just pump out gameplay / walkthrough / playthroughs, and then you're going to have the media sites. So all those smaller YouTubers are just going to go, because they just can't do it. They can't deal with a legal system that's as big as Nintendo, and the only way Nintendo and other companies are going to be happy is that if they reinforce all these copyrights and all this legal mumbo jumbo, but a small time guy can't do that. So that'll be the end of it.
But they're trying to make it easier for those people.
Oh, they're saying that, but like any system at all is going to be a headache and just another step. And if you have, it's like if you have to do it for every company, you're just not going to bother. Like, you can't even imagine if it's like, okay, I just want to put out a quick 20-minute video talking about this. I need some footage. Right, well, if I want to use this game from this company, I have to fit out this form, and I have to give them this. It's just like, you can't just do it on the fly and then suddenly lose what makes Let's Playing interesting, which is like somebody just enjoying video games, because now it's a business, and that just takes it away.
I don't know, I think we're in the peak of the freedom. Maybe I'm just a cynical guy, but I reckon something has to, not I want it to happen, but I think something has to happen to change the way that it works on a fundamental level, because it's so open. It's like the Wild West, right? Yeah. We're getting into Red Dead Redemption. It's the Wild West. It's the frontier. It's all new, but eventually, it's going to be governed. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, eventually it will happen. But I mean, yeah, there's some things I would like to be like people, like someone take charge and kind of weed out just all that like HD walkthrough / playthrough / gameplay crap. Just all that nonsense needs to go. Or like, if somebody could somehow figure that out, where you can't just pump out videos of the game when it first comes out. Like, that's what I want to see companies to do, like doing, where they say, okay, whenever we have a new game, the first 6 months or whatever, like some arbitrary time when it first comes out, if you want to make videos of this and capitalize on our new game, you have to go through us. And then after the 6 months, because of course they can content ID the video and easily spot which game it is, and then after 6 months, then that goes away. So something like that, I think, could work. But again, it's a business will never think of that. A business will just is not in the right mindset, doesn't really know what Let's Playing is about, so will do something really awkward, and just that will have a negative impact. I guess that's my main point. That they won't change. It would be awesome if they could step in and have a positive change and sort things out, but the chances are it's going to be negative. There's going to be a headache.
Yeah, it probably will be, but this say this Nintendo thing just doesn't work at all. It's still like a step towards what you're saying. So maybe they won't. Maybe they don't see that stuff now, because they're too inexperienced in this. But it's a step, I guess, is what I see it as. It's a small step, but it's a step.
Well, I don't think it's a step until it gets reinforced, though. Like, they can say this stuff, but we'll see how YouTubers react to it.
Yeah. I don't know yet. But it shows that they're thinking about it, aren't they?
Yeah, I suppose, but I think a company thinking about it isn't good.
Why not?
Because it's like there's other companies like Activision saying, yeah, we have no problem with that, and moved on. But a company kind of being stuck on it, I can't. Again, I just think it's going to be bad in the end.
Okay. I don't know what to think.
Maybe.
It won't affect me, so.
Hey.
Okay.
It will affect me though, so that's cool.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry.
It's alright.
Yeah. Okay then. I just found out quite interesting.
Okay, so have you been playing anything this week? I know you have Borderlands, but did you get around to it this week?
No, I've been sidetracked by another game.
Oh, which is...
It's nothing new. My friend set up a little Minecraft server.
Oh, Minecraft, I see.
it's a modded Minecraft, so it's all different.
Oh, a mod of Minecraft, wow.
Yeah. So it's all very, very different. No. Yeah. So, no, in answer to your question, not at all. All the same.
Well, I guess that's the one good thing about Minecraft. If you want it to be different, go online, get a mod, boom. Now you have to explore the whole game again.
Exactly. I have a friend who moans at me for playing Minecraft. So I was like, how do you still play Minecraft? You know, are you not bored of ideas yet? And I go, well, you play mods, and the mod makers make the ideas for you, and you just do them. That's why I still play it. So yeah, that's my thing.
I like your friend though. Like, I like the ideas of, why do you still play that rubbish?
Yeah, because he used to play it with me, but then he's grown out of it.
I've got to play Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Screw that.
Yeah, screw that.
I want to go mine some copper.
Copper.
Yeah, more ores. Ooh, modded.
That's exciting.
Now I can make alloys.
Well, I went on about Mario Kart 8. You can go on about Minecraft mods if you really want.
No,
I can't be upset.
No, I won't do that.
No.
I won't put you through that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, do you want to know what's coming out next week? Or this week,
E3.
actually.
No, I don't know.
We got 2 games. We got Murdered, Sole Suspect, which is the latest from Square Enix, although I don't think they're making it. I think they're just publishing it.
Yeah, I did see that. What was that?
It's the one where you've been murdered, and now you're trying to figure out who murdered you. But it's not... Like, you're a ghost, but it's not as dumb as you would think. Because I watched the trailer, and I was like, that should be dumb, but that looked surprisingly cool.
Yeah. Is it a bit like a not detective, like a Sherlock Holmes thing?
Yeah, I think so. I kind of got a bit L.A. Noire in there.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the one I was thinking of. L.A. Noire, that's what I thought of. You're right.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing, but you kind of got this more ghost, supernatural element added to it.
Yep.
Well, so that looks good. I mean, I won't buy it because it's just coming out at a weird time. That's mostly it.
Maybe watch a few videos of it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just June 6th. It's like, come on, don't put out a big AAA title then.
Fools!
Yeah, like... and then the second game coming out is Tomodachi Life, which is that 3DS Me simulator thing that got all the flack for the gay marriage stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was, yeah.
Which I don't think we talked about, but it's not really worth talking about, is it?
No. You know what? You just have to read the headline, you know what that's about.
Yeah. It's just... whatever.
Although, one thing about that, I know Nintendo eventually, at first they said, you know, that it wasn't part of the game or so that we imagined or blah, 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 but didn't they eventually say sort of an apology for it?
Yeah, they put out an apology, but that's just because,
they just have to, I guess.
Yeah, like, and they're saying it'll be in the next game, which is fair enough, but it's just more frustrating about the gay community, really, because the gay community know... or they should have the intelligence to know that Nintendo were being homophobic. It's just because of the media blew it out of proportion and twisted the story. Because what it was is that in Japan, in the original Japanese version, there was a bug which allowed you to have same-sex marriages in the game. But this was a bug. It was a data leak. It's not... You need to debug your game. You can't just leave bugs in there and be like, yeah, that's fine. So they had to kind of get rid of it. And then people were like, oh, they took out gay marriage. But it's like, no, that's not what happened. That was the consequence of it, but it wasn't Nintendo saying screw gay marriage. They just didn't put it in originally because I would assume that in Japan it's not as big as an issue, which, is fair enough. If it's not a big issue, then that's fine. And then Nintendo said they'll put in the next one, but it's just like the gay community had to cause a fuss and they had to be annoyed about it, so then it became its whole thing. When really, it's like, I think it's like when we talked about the Jeremy Clarkson thing, where it's like if there's no hatred in what you're saying and what you're doing, then you can't be too angry at the person or expect too big consequences, because it's an innocent mistake. It's innocent.
Yes, exactly. It's not even a mistake, really.
No,
is it? Yeah,
it's just,
I don't know what the word is, but
it's just the media blowing out. Nintendo had to program a bug out of their game which just happened to be gay marriage or be related to it, but there's no hatred there, so
there's no story there, really.
no.
Like you say, it's just got to get those clicks.
That's right.
Got to get those hits, and then the headlines.
Yeah. Right, so any last thoughts before we end the podcast with this mellow ending, this sleepy cast?
Sleepcast.
Yeah, sleepcast.
Give Tom your questions.
Yeah?
There you go. I'll plug your own video for you.
Oh, it's kind of done.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, I uploaded it last Monday. I waited a week.
Oh, did you? Was it really Monday?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's all
crap.
done.
Don't send Tom your
Yeah.
questions. Send them to the email
That's
podcast.
right.
Podcast thing, yes.
At onlytrashherepodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, okay. Don't do that, yeah. Crap. My final thoughts instead will be... so this is as the pre-3.
Yes, pre-free.
May Father E3
Oh, God.
right, bring me in my stocking Simpsons Hit and Run 2, Star Wars Battlefront 3 footage, and Red Dead Redemption 3.
Whoa. I think one of those, maybe?
All
All
of
of them would be good, sure.
and not a piece of coal.
Maybe a couple of coals.
Oh,
A couple of next-gen coals.
fine.
Next week or a couple of weeks we'll do the coal awards. The worst of E3. Who's getting coal?
Stay tuned. Oh, yeah, because there's bound to be some.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for the bombs.
Yep.
Alright, well, what's going on with your channel next week? Or this week? This is confusing.
What is going on with mine is nothing's changing as per usual. It is Monkey Island 2, it is Minecraft, and it's Spelunky.
Cool.
With a bit of live streams thrown in.
For good measure.
For good measure. Yep.
Well,
That's
I'm doing Red Dead Redemption still, Super Mario Sunshine, and this month, I'm happy to announce, I put it in my answer video, that will also get uploaded probably the same day as this, maybe a day after. In June, I'm doing Ratchet and Clank month.
month?
Yeah, so I decided the first Ratchet and Clank review, I'm putting it together now, and I just got to edit it. I'm going to aim for 4, but I'll at least do 3. So I'll do the first Ratchet and Clank, second and third, and then if I have time I'll do the 4th one. And I'll upload those reviews during June. This June. So Ratchet and Clank month. Or month of Ratchet and Clank, because I think Rayman month was called Month of Rayman. So I'm doing it again, but this time for Ratchet and Clank, because I have the HD trilogy and the first review's almost done, so that'll be up soon. So expect a review for Ratchet and Clank 2 and 3 this month as well.
Sounds good. I can't wait for all the hateful comments you're going to get.
Well, they're more positive than Jack 2, although I've only done the first review, so I guess anything could happen.
I can't wait for all the hateful comments you're not going
Oh,
to get.
hooray. I'll still get them, though.
That does sound good.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll turn out good. Because I hope I can get all 4 done. Because the last one will be Gladiator, which is like a shorter, almost spin-off. So I might just do that one anyway, and if it's late, it's late. So I have to wait and see.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, months, not months. Technicalities.
Well, the plan would be to do a second one later down the road for the PS3 games, but that's getting ahead of myself now. Just stick to the PS2 ones.
Yeah, okay, good idea. In HD.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And also I guest starred in Cal's crazy Let's Play of Wind Waker, which he calls Project Sea of Green, and the first 2 parts are already uploaded, and the third one will be up on Wednesday. And also this week on Cal's crazy channel, I was part of his championship race for his Mario Kart 7 LP. So go to his channel, and by Saturday there'll be 4 videos uploaded featuring me. So go check that out too, if you got time.
Can't get enough of Tom. Go check those
No,
out.
I'm just everywhere. I'm just can't stop me.
I won't. Go ahead. Go and do more code.
Will do. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me, Mr. McLuckable. I
Thank you.
apologise to the people for the sleepy cast, but next week will be a lot higher energy, because we'll be pumped about Simpsons Hit and Run 2.
I will be.
That's right. Or maybe, I've got to mention the idea, right? What about, because the Simpsons games have kind of crashed and burned, what about Lego The Simpsons game? Got the new figures out. Lego's doing really well. They need to do something with the Simpsons IP. Boom. Lego The Simpsons.
That is not a half bad idea.
Yeah, I think it could happen.
That could
That's like
happen.
the only way you could bring back The Simpsons in terms of a AAA full release.
Oh, that would be so good. Alright, yeah, change my stocking. Just add another one in there. I want 2 Simpsons games.
Oh, you get... Oh,
I'm greedy.
that's very greedy.
But no, that's a good call there. That's a good call.
And then turn it into Simpsons Tapped Out 2.
Alright, we're done.
We're done, yeah. Alright.
We're done.
Thanks very much for joining me, Joe, and we will see you next week.
See ya.